If you've been on Twitter to any capacity over the last few months, you've probably seen a number of very, very bad Starfield takes. I've covered a few on this channel, some of my favorites being Starfield won't have SSD utilization, or Starfield is No Man's Sky 2.0 because it will only have 100 inhabited planets. There was also a guy who bragged about having a bunch of fake Metacritic accounts that he was going to use to get the game down to a 2.0 Metascore, but believe it or not, the worst was still upon us, because now that all the kind of redeemable bad takes about Starfield have been let loose, Twitter has had to dig a little deeper in order to find stuff about Starfield that indicates how horrible it is and how much it deserves to be assaulted in an alleyway with a fucking Nerf N-Strike Mega Mastodon, which weighs about 7.5 pounds, so it may not be the best for agility, but don't worry because it fires 3 rounds per second. Why did I write that? So this all started when someone over at Twitter thought it would be hysterical to put this nonsense on my timeline. 4 years later, and Destiny 2 is still burying Starfield, supposedly biggest game of 2023, as per Xbox fanboys. And then he attaches a screenshot of the Steam charts, where Destiny 2 is at number 5. Oh, okay. Looking at the origin of this nonsense, I'm really not sure what to make of this account. Like look at it. It looks like a troll account. Literally all this guy does is talk about PlayStation and engage in console wars, which is troll-like behavior, but also if this account is trolling, this is a lot of time to commit to the bit, because he's active all day. But then again, whether or not this guy is trolling is kind of irrelevant, because even if this initial post is a troll, the people who engaged with it also by revenue. This is just sad. Destiny has millions of players spending more money today, and Baldur's Gate pre-orders started the 12th, with a screenshot of Starfield being beaten out in terms of Steam revenue. Well, fucking good golly gosh, I can't imagine why those two games would be getting more revenue than Starfield. You know, 2 games with active updates that are currently playable and get tons of media attention. They're outselling pre-orders of a game that's not out till September. Like, fuck, dude, don't tell me you're actually buying into this. Like, are you guys really so desperate for W's here that you're going to look at a popular live service game and a fresh out of the oven release with a big online presence? You're seriously surprised that those 2 games are generating more revenue than a game that isn't out yet and has had pre-orders live for weeks on end? Like, most of the pre-orders that Starfield was going to get have already been made. They were made within the couple weeks after the big gameplay showcase. I made a video a couple weeks ago about how it was near the top of the Steam charts, literally up to the point of the start of the summer sale. And according to your screenshot here, Starfield is now once again near the top of the charts, now that there aren't, 10 million things on sale. You're literally displaying a Starfield W here, and you don't notice it. You're over here talking about how much money Destiny 2 and Baldur's Gate 3 are making, all while disregarding the fact that it's a ridiculous comparison. But even in your own evidence here, you show that despite the comparison being completely unfair, Starfield still isn't that far behind them in terms of revenue. After all that. Good lord. But Starfield is number 1 wishlisted. Doesn't cost anything to make a sock account in Wishlist. Oh, that's the theory now? That's the theory now. That Xbox people are just making burner Steam accounts to juice Starfield on the Steam wishlist? That's the going theory? Like, there's no other explanation for the game being wishlisted by a lot of people? Also, without meaning any disrespect to the other games on this list, there's nothing even remotely as high profile as Starfield here. Like, this game does not have heavy competition for being the most wishlisted game on Steam, you know? And I mean, this is all glossing over the fact that you genuinely seem to think that there's like a secret cabal of Steam wishlisters. Because, I mean, according to this tweet, you clearly don't think it would have the number 1 wishlist spot if it weren't for the bots, right? Meaning you think Starfield should be getting beaten out in terms of wishlists by Hollow Knight on Steam. That's just not happening. There's no conspiracy. You're just dumb. And a small indie game burying D2. I mean, that's a good point. If you want to take the Steam charts here as an absolute indication of quality, and that's why Destiny 2 is dominating Starfield, Congratulations, Destiny 2 is being fucking spanked by BattleBit Remastered. Xbox stands will say it's because Starfield is unreleased, but already declare this and avowed and other unreleased content Game of the Year contenders. Much like the system they simp over, it's all talk with no walk. I mean, if you really want to be stingy about it, I can say these two things don't even contradict each other, because everyone knows that no matter how well or poorly Starfield reviews, it's going to be one of the best-selling games of the year, and it will absolutely be nominated for a bunch of Game of the Year awards because it's a Bethesda RPG, you know? The same way that we can always expect Naughty Dog and Rockstar games to be nominated for a bunch of Game of the Year awards on top of selling super well. It's just something to be expected from a game of this profile. A lot of those things are decided before the game even comes out. Everyone knows that. But even if this game wasn't going to be nominated for anything, and even if it ends up being complete garbage on launch day, that doesn't erase the fact that it looks really good now and really promising now, so obviously people are pre-ordering and wishlisting it now. You fucking doofus. Destiny 2 kinda boring, not gonna lie. Better than anything Xbox ever released, TBH. Remember guys, Starfield is bad and lame and dumb and really bad, and we already know how bad Starfield is. But Destiny 2, that's better than everything Xbox has released.
The nerve of some of those peasants, huh? Tell me about it.
Look, I know the meme is that Xbox games are poopy shit, but like, do I really need to go down the list? Do I really need to make a gimmick Twitter account called Xbox Games Better Than Destiny 2? And Destiny 2 was on the Xbox anyway, so how is this a W to a PlayStation stan? Like, you guys are getting way too desperate for W's. It's not a good look. This screams friendly fire. You as a PC player are a part of the Xbox ecosystem, Lamau. Take the sweatband off. You're not on Hot Topic. PC gamers choosing to spend more money on a game that's already out than they are a game that isn't out yet. You think that's friendly fire? Fucking why? Also, by this logic, you're basically just like, fuck you to everyone who pre-ordered Starfield and then played Destiny 2, because you expect people to continue helping Starfield hold its top spot after they've pre-ordered it? What else can they do at that point, you fucking goose? Also, just newsflash, the PC is not part of the Xbox ecosystem. It's the other way around. The Xbox is part of the PC ecosystem. The PC's ecosystem was existing just fine without Xbox, and now we're happy that Xbox has come and, joined the party. But the Xbox is not the PC. I know Xbox people are desperate for W's too, but this one's fucking stupid. No body and thinking about a boring ass wannabe No Man's Sky, Starfield, and if it do sell, watch it get boring ratings. You want a good space game? No Man's Sky 1 and 2 is where it's at and the best.
That's bait.
Baldur's Gate 3 gonna expose Starfield.
Whoa! This is worthless.
It's less than worthless, my boy.
Look, if you think Baldur's Gate is gonna outsell Starfield, I just don't know what to tell you. The game was on the top of Xbox and Steam charts for fucking weeks just with pre-orders. If the game is at least like a 7 out of 10, it's going to continue selling like crazy during its first month. And if it's as good as we're expecting it to be, it's going to continue to sell like crazy for the remainder of the year, and I mean at the very least, just like every other Bethesda RPG. Does that mean Baldur's Gate 3 is going to sell poorly? Of course not. They're different games appealing to very different regions of the RPG player base for the most part. Like, yeah, I guess it's possible Starfield face plants, like if it launches and it's like on fire and full of racial slurs, but at this point that's just not looking like it's going to happen. What scares me is Starfield might outperform Spider-Man 2.
Zooey mama, that's scary.
Bro, why does that scare you? Why are you scared? Why do you have any opinions about it at all? Same with the whole Baldur's Gate 3 exposed guy. Like, why do you care? Yeah, Starfield and Spider-Man are probably gonna be big sellers. They're big AAA games, that's a given. Which one's gonna sell more? I don't know. What difference is it gonna make to your experience? I don't know. I love watching the internet divide into two camps over Starfield. Like, on one side, you have the people excited for Starfield and making speculative videos, getting hyped for it. And then on the other half of the internet, you have people who are absolutely furious that the game exists in the first place, and they're taking it as like a moral duty to make sure everyone knows it sucks. I said duty. And like, I know that happens with literally every first-party game from every first-party company, but it's especially bad here. Like, Starfield is this gigantic game with a ton of stuff to talk about and plenty of gameplay concerns that you could make, or market concerns over exclusivity that you could be hammering Microsoft and Xbox for, but instead, you're literally grasping at straws that aren't even straws. Like, yeah, no shit, Destiny 2 is generating more revenue on Steam than Starfield. No shit, Baldur's Gate is getting more media attention right now than Starfield. None of you have any idea how any of this works, and it just hammers home the centuries-old adage. PlayStation stands don't play games. Toodles.